History of Maya Islands consisting of 7,143 islands and islets with the King Felipe family clan of Spain until this present called Pilipinas or Philippines, protected by Treaty of Paris 1898. Mga kapatid, sa content na ito ay aking sasalisayin sa inyo ang nakatagong lihim at kasaysayan ng bansang Pilipinas, kung kanino nakapangalan ang titulo nito at kung saan nagmula ang mga kayamanan ng bansang Pilipinas. Kapatid, kung ikaw ay interesado sa mga content na kagaya nito, mangyari lamang na huwag maglipat ng channel at panatilihin ang laging nakasubaybay. Dito ay aking sasalaysay sa inyo ang mga mahalagang nangyari o mga kaganapan noon pang panahong 1405 hanggang 1985. Kaya mga kapatid, panatilihin lamang ang laging nakatutok at huwag bumitaw. How strange for a man to know, in order to know how much he knows, but how little he knows. 777 4-star Kingdom of MAHARLIKA presents. Hello mga kapatid, Maharlikans. Kamusta?
Wow naman! Wow!
So, ang iyong lingkod ay pumarito na naman sa Kingdom of MAHARLIKA upang maghatid ulit sa inyo ng mga bagong kaalaman patungkol sa mahalagang lihim at kasaysayan ng ating bansang Pilipinas. Dito ay ating malalaman kung ano ang dating pangalan ng ating bansang Pilipinas bago itong madiskubre umano ng mga Kastila. Sila nga ba ang unang nakadiskubre nito o may iba pa? Well, anyway mga kapatid, ang content na ito ay patungkol din sa kung nakanino ang titulo ng bansang Pilipinas, kung kanino ito nakapangalan, at lalong-lalo na ang mga kayamanan ng bansang ito na tinatawag na divine wealth and assets. Aking sasalaysayin sa inyo mga kapatid ang nakatagong lihim ng kasaysayan ng ating bansang Pilipinas batay sa aking nakalap na impormasyon at mga documentation na ipinagkatiwala sa akin ng Kingdom of MAHARLIKA 777 Morningstar Foundation Incorporated sa pamumuno ni King R.P. Rodolfo M. Palpalato. Ang mga dokumentong ito mga kapatid ay pirmado ng ating dating Pangulong Ferdinand Emmanuel Edralin Marcos, Central Bank of the Philippines Governor Jose B. Fernandez Jr. at ng ating bayaning si Dr. Jose P. Rizal o kung tawagin ding Father Jose Antonio Diaz aka Severino Santa Romana. In 1405, the Chinese king of barter trade Cao Zhou from mainland China came to Maya Islands, referring to the Philippine Islands, making business with the natives using barter trade as the medium of transaction at that time, including the consolidation of lands comprising 7,143 islands with an area of 30 million hectares more or less. The islands called Maya. Cao Zhou negotiated the sale of lands of Maya he acquired to the throne of Spain against silver through Mr. Struan, the owner of Hong Kong, married to Queen Victoria and representative of Queen Elizabeth I, Armando Villamor Cruz, the son of King Felipe II of Spain, and King Felipe II or Emperor Trajan II, members of the Emperor family circle, descendants of Emperor Marcos Alpius Trajanus or Trajan of Rome from 98 AD to 117 AD, known as the only emperor of Rome born out of Italy because he was born on Spain, known also as high priest, builders, administrator, and organizer of the 12 emperors among his clan, referred to by the 12 tables of the Roman law. The Maya Islands changed to Filipinas in honor of King Felipe II or Emperor Trajan II, or Prince Julian Macleod Italiano, or the family of Code of Quran. In 1503 to 1521, Pope Alexander VI ordered the expedition to the Maya Islands headed by Ferdinand Magellan, Antonio Pigafetta, and Francisco Sande of Italy, to take the documents owned by the native Filipinos under friar lands through the execution of the deed of exchange and transfer of rights in favor to the Code of Quran family clan, and take the gold bullion and other precious metals at the Spanish dungeon in Manila. In 1790, United States President George Washington made a declaration of asset owned by the Code of King of Recognized Asset Nation, or Quran. In 1810, upon the execution of the vital documents, the first party and the second party executed the deed of exchange and transfer of rights in favor of Cruzin Villamor Italiano family clan, known as the Code of Quran. In 1894, Jose Rizal was appointed caretaker of the real estate property, which includes 7,143 islands all over the archipelago covered by Titulo de Compra by the Prince Macleod Italiano. Juan Luna also was appointed caretaker of the precious metals and stone by his wife, Her Majesty Maria Cristina Cruz Villamor Italiano. In 1898, the Spanish Crown granted the OCT 01-4 with the portion TCT 408 and TCT 498 with Decree Maura Law, or Royal Decree protected by Treaty of Paris, including the 7,143 islands all over archipelago in favor of Code of Quran. The same year, President Emilio Aguinaldo returned from exile and on June 12, 1898 in Kawit, Cavite, proclaimed the Philippine independence due to the Filipino had no land property because it was sold already to the Cruz Villamor Italiano's family clan. In 1899, 20th of January, the new Congress meeting held in the Barasuin Church in Malolos, Bulacan had authorized President Aguinaldo to apply the floating loan, the sum of 20 million pesos. The President of the Philippines, Emilio Aguinaldo, decreed and passed a resolution of request number 01 directly to the owner of the tract of land. The Cruz Villamor Italiano's family clan resolved the request of the President to help the government for the rehabilitation of the Philippine archipelago destroyed by World War I. The letter of intent to loan used OCT 01-4, TCT number 408, TCT number 498 as collateral. It was resolved to help under the multilateral agreement and to be deposited in trust under the coded 01-333 flat. Maturity 1933. In 1901, President Emilio Aguinaldo was captured by the American forces. In 1903, the establishment of the gold exchange standard in the Philippines, which provided for the details of the currency system of the Philippines to maintain the purity of the silver peso, which represents the unit value with the theoretical gold peso. There had to be a trust fund known as the Gold Standard Fund. Part of the Gold Standard Fund, now called the Exchange Standard Fund, had to be kept at the National Treasury in Manila, and the greater part with certain banks in the United States designated as depositories of the fund. In 1922, Adolf Hitler, General Yamashita, and General Homa, in collaboration of Jose C. Zolieta and Jose Laurel, stole the 22,500 metric tons of gold at the old Spanish dungeon in the Philippines, transported it to the Reichsbank, Berlin, owned by Hitler under the Black Eagle Foundation as shipper and consignee. Copy of the press release of the witness, Mr. Binbal Morris, certified in China Morning Star. In 1923, Adolf Hitler was arrested by the CIA, headed by Director Ray Klein, and was put into exile. In 1928, General Yamashita and General Homa returned back to gold to the Philippines, smelted it in the cave and reformed it in jars, Buddha, and etc., remark Yamato Dynasty under the Black Eagle Foundation and Golden Lily Treasure. In 1933, the International Treasury notified and obliged the Philippine government to redeem the property of the Code of Quran 01-4 and etc. The Philippine government declined to the notice because the government does not have the possession of the Redeemer's Code 1738-777, several treaties and ZENTC 178-179, and the loan continued. In 1935, the House of the Congress amended Section 24 granted, dated September 30, 1935, the President of the Commonwealth Manuel L. Quezon to support the Cruz Villamor-Talianos family clan, authorizing the Angelo Mining Corporation to smelt the gold nuggets and rebar it into 6.5 kilos, 12.5 kilos, and 75 kilos, the 4,000 metric tons of gold, managed by the Central Bank of the Philippines with the interest of 1% per annum as rental fee. The Central Bank of the Philippines, through Governor Andres Castillo, issued an export permit of 217,500 metric tons of gold direct to China, Hong Kong, United States, Switzerland, Germany, England, and other countries of the world. Copy of the court witness Father Jose Antonio Diaz or Severino Santa Romana, etc., and with his 14 aliases. In the same year, the American government and the Philippine government agreed to make a managerial paper currency known as Wells Fargo Nomination Certificate 1928 and Certificate 1934, Blue Seal and Red Seal. A total of 84 boxes of banknote under Union Trust and Agosan Trust in 1949 deposited in trust to open the Bank of China, founded by Tan Kaki, the godfather of TVTM-LSM-666, followed by the backup of 3,500 metric tons of gold under the administration of Mr. Tan Kaki and the members of the Board of Trustees, with maturity date issued by the Allied Insurance Company, copy of certificate of ownership of the file under the law of the secrecy of bank deposit, Republic Act 1405. In 1944, after World War II, General Dwight Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied Nations, called a meeting to the 44 League of Allied Nations was held in the Bretton Woods. The agenda of the meeting was to confiscate all the gold stolen by Hitler, General Yamashita, and General Homa, buried in the Philippines since 1928. In 1944, Attorney Ferdinand E. Marcos married to Princess Inimecia Cruz Villamor. In 1948, Tiburcio Villamor Marcos, TVM, grandson of Lacanta Giantiliano, known as Prince Julian Macaulay Italiano, was born on August 11, 1948, the third child of Ferdinand E. Marcos and Inimecia Cruz Villamor, and was baptized by Father Jose Antonio Diaz alias Severino Santa Romana on December 28, 1948 at San Juan Bautista Church, Pansol, Laguna, where Queen Maria Cristina II, wife of Prince Julian Macaulay Italiano, Queen Isabel II of England, and Tan Kaki, founder Bank of China, Hong Kong Limited, as godmother and godfather of Tiburcio Villamor Marcos. The same year, the gold bullion precious stone arrived with Father Jose Antonio Diaz alias Severino Santa Romana, an appointed representative of Vatican, a beneficiary of 1% with Attorney Ferdinand E. Marcos, who was also designated as lawyer of the Cruz Villamor-Taliano family clan, to bring back the gold bullion from Vatican to the old treasury of Central Bank in Intramuros, Manila. In 1949, President Elpidio Quirino proclaimed and declared the gift of love supported by the Treaty of Perpetual Relation to neutralize the Filipino people and the designation of the VTM-LSM-666 as the sole redeemer of the asset properties in place in trust to the Philippine government, bearing LSM-666 and Redeemer's Code 1738-777, confirmed by the heirs of the Code of Quran, covered by the Last Will and Testament. In 1950, General Dwight Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied Nations, supported the Philippine government's declaration of intent to restructure the debt of the Philippines. Backup of gold bullion from Cruz Villamor-Taliano family clan, including the real estate property known as OCT 01-4, comprising of 7,143 islands throughout the archipelago. In 1952, The Declaration of Intent was approved and granted by the United States President Harry S. Truman, signed the bilateral Minesfield Successor Agreement covered by the Treaty of Agreement and Treaty of Peace, Treaty of Versailles in accordance with Article 14, restructuring the existing loan since 1899. President Harry S. Truman, President Elpidio Quirino, and Vice President Sergio Osmeña Sr. agreed to make the Philippine Victory Notes known as Truman and Osmeña with the backup of 400 metric tons of gold deposited in trust at the Central Bank, PSP, designated as the official depository bank with maturity date in 2005, including the existing collateral OCT 01-4, TCT-408, and TCT-498. In 1952, the mother of the three children, the first wife of Ferdinand E. Marcos, Enemesia Cruz Villamor, the sister of Prince Zillian Macleo Italiano, members of the Code of Quran, executed the affidavit of execution in favor of TBTM-LSM-666. In 1953, the wife of President Ferdinand E. Marcos, Enemesia Cruz Villamor, died. In 1954, Attorney Ferdinand E. Marcos remarried to Imelda Romualdez Marcos. Mga kapatid, mukhang nagkaka-interes na kayo. Well, anyway, ang content na ito ay pansamantalang puputulin. Pakaabangan ang part 2. Maraming salamat. God bless.
Bye-bye.